Steppin Out is made possible in part by Susie and Pierre G. Villery.
With a continued passion for public television, we are proud to underwrite Steppin Out.
Please join us in supporting WYES television.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation promotes, preserves, and perpetuates music, culture, and heritage through programs, cultural, educational, and economic activities year-round. Learn more at jazzandheritage.org.
I'm Peggy Scott Laborde, and welcome to Steppin Out, with updates from the local restaurant, arts, and entertainment scenes. After 2.5 years, we are back together in our studio, as Dr. Bob says it best, with Home Sweet Home. So glad our folks here are joining me. Poppy Tooker, host of Louisiana Eats on WWNO Radio. Hey, Miss Poppy.
Hello, Peggy.
Yay.
Yay. So nice to see you in the flesh.
Absolutely, always. Givonna Joseph, founder and artistic director of Opera Creole. Welcome back.
It's wonderful to be back.
And it has been a very long time. Jamar Pierre, artist and teacher, who is working on a mile-long mural, you may have noticed, along Tchoupitoulas Street. Great, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And also with us, of course, Alan Smason, editor of the Crescent City Jewish News and theatercriticism.com. Good to see you.
You got it. Thank you, Peggy.
Yes, I did. I barely got it, but I did. Poppy, time for Oktoberfest.
Oh, well, you know, Opa, isn't that what they say? So, love these headdresses. I'm talking about Deutsches Haus first, and that's where you can get your own version of this. Note the pretzels. So, you know, the Deutsches Haus Oktoberfest is really the standard that all others live by. And at the Deutsches Haus for the next 3 weekends, kicking off this Friday, you're going to be able to feast and toast and and dance and you name it. It's all going on. The full dinner will be there as always. There's new German street food. There's over 30 beers to choose from. Anyway, it's a big time. It's only $10 to get in. Children under 11 are free. So don't miss that Oktoberfest at Deutsches Haus. But on every Wednesday and Thursday now through November 10th, head over to Middendorf's Oktoberfest. And now this is their 15th year. And every year, Horst's brother Heinz comes in from Germany, and he comes with his accordion and plays it in Man Shack. Al DeMarco is the one who's playing in Slidell. The music starts at 4:30 every Wednesday and Thursday. The menus change weekly. The appetizers stay the same, but it's Weisswurst and a pretzel, German ravioli in broth, and all of those things are every week on the menu. But this week it's smoked pork chop. Next week it's sauerbraten. There's a stuffed veal shoulder one week. Of course, the Wiener Schnitzel.
Yeah.
But, of course, dessert. Black Forest cake and apple strudel, and they alternate. And now at both locations, they have 8 special German beers that they're serving. There's 9 different kinds of schnapps choices, so you can just go and have a look at that. Oh, that cake, the Black Forest cake, yum! Now, right here in town, all month long, every single day at Cochon Butcher, it is Oktoberfest with their bratwurst, Flammkuchen, schnitzel. They have pretzels, one of them stuffed with ham and cheese, and of course sauerkraut. Lots and lots of beer, wine, and cocktails. And by the way, you can start that Oktoberfest at 10 a.m. on Saints Home Game Sundays. They open early for that. And of course, all of that fun is happening right there at Cochon Butcher. And first annual, now this is not Oktoberfest news, but the first annual Grodat Youth Farm Get Down is happening next Friday night in City Park. This is an inspirational youth farm program. Everybody should come out for it. Now through Monday, you can get early bird tickets to the event that's just $30. Youth tickets, that's ages 13 to 20, are just $10. It's $50 regular admission at the door, $20 for the youth tickets. There'll be music. The original Pinettes Brass Band is playing, amongst others. It's going to be a big time, so get down at the Grodat Youth Farm next Friday night.
All right. Thank you so much, Poppy. And before we visit with Givonna, actually here is an excerpt from the documentary Voices of Renewal. The WYES will air Monday evening. First up, artist and writer Jonathan Radba Farouche Myers, and then Givonna discussing a resurgence in the Louisiana Creole language.
Mon papa et mon maman y étaient dit mon famille te parlait ça y appelle créole. À ce stade c'est quelque chose nous appelle Kurivini. Ça fait là y dit mon ça il y a quelques années passées. Et moi te reconnais c'était important pour connaître pour apprendre ça. Mais ça prend un petit peu de temps à cause moi t'ai toujours gagné une idée nous a juste parlé français.
Once Jim Crow laws were established, we were pretty much kicked out of the classical arena. Their works were put into a drawer somewhere, into an archive, and we've just been in the process ever since then of trying to find whatever we could in archives. We're really trying to harness the things that people have been waiting in the grave to be harnessed. And I feel a deep responsibility to those composers who left this world not having fully actualized what they were able to do. But in Louisiana, there was a lot of a push of attractive girls being chosen to work in the house. And this story is about Lisette, who's at a plantation in the country and was chosen to come to a house in New Orleans. And the guy who loves her is heartbroken that she's leaving and telling her that she should be careful of people who pretend to have her best interest at heart.
Lisette, ma chère amie, Lisette a quitté la plaine. Mon père Dieu, bon
Beautiful Voices is produced by Cliff St. Laurent and the New Foundation. It will air this Monday evening at 9 p.m. and is followed by the program Yeah, You're Right, about the way Orleanians talk, and that's produced by, it's from way back when Louis Alvarez and Andy Coker were thrilled that we can show it. WYES broadcasts and streams all of its programs. Voices also repeats on Sunday, October the 16th at 10:30 a.m. and Monday, October 24th at 9:30. So lots of good things there. But we've got Miss Givonna in the flesh here. We're thrilled. And you've got so much going on. But let's just back up for a second in terms of the words, Creole, and they mention another word too.
Kurivini.
Kurivini. So we're talking about a combination of what the following cultures. African,
yes, French, Spanish, Native American. So it's a perfect indigenous language that is a wonderful result of so many cultures coming together.
And thankfully, it almost was stamped out for many reasons, as we know. And now it's kind of coming back. And I know you have spent much of your life trying to have other folks remember these amazing composers. And what's very exciting that you're going to be involved with the Opera Creole with this really wonderful concert coming up for free at the St. Louis Cathedral with the Louisiana Philharmonic Orchestra. Tell us a little bit about that.
It's such a wonderful project. I love history, but the best thing about this is we're actually recreating a concert from around 1780 in Haiti that marked the debut of the first black woman to sing as an operatic soloist for the French. Her name was Elizabeth Minette Ferrand. And so she makes her debut in this, and we're, although we're not a choir, we're kind of functioning in a way as the choir would have, a choir of the enslaved, singing this beautiful French music of the time of Mass, would have been Mass music of the Mass.
And what's so great is that you really should RSVP online to do that, okay, because it is free, and I'm sure it's going to be very crowded. It's also going to be streamed live on WWNO as well, so very exciting. But you have an entire season coming up, and of course the most important thing is to go to your website. But, you know, Opera Creole, how long have you been involved in, and when did you found Opera Creole?
We technically were founded in 2010. Our inaugural concert was 2011, so we're going into our 12th season.
And we have some photos from your various activities over the last few years.
My daughter and I, my daughter Aria.
And Aria, she's doing well, I hope.
She's hanging in there, yeah.
Good. I'm so glad. Yeah, this is a wonderful photo.
She's my partner in all things. This was a concert that we just did honoring Black women in opera and civil rights, which you don't think of the two things going together, but it was a wonderful concert at the Pythian.
And of course, we all have to learn to be entrepreneurial with our nonprofits, so you've got this great website, and you're selling stuff on the website. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, we have this wonderful champagne flute that I gave to our singers for our anniversary. And I was involved in a project called Songs of Slavery and Emancipation, where they asked me to do, it's only the lyrics exist. So I spoke on the CD the lyrics from 1783.
There's the champagne, upper left-hand corner.
Yeah.
Really nice. Yeah.
And so it's all about this guy found all of these unknown songs that white abolitionists sang, and just it's really a great combination of things. And the book tells his story. And then I decided my own CD that I created after Hurricane Katrina, out of love for my city, is there. But we're going to be adding a few more things.
That's so exciting. Congratulations. And not only, of course, you are an opera singer, but you're a longtime teacher, too.
Yes, yes. I've been doing a lot of traveling. I was just up in Ohio teaching educators how to take a subject matter and create an opera scene. And so we taught them so they could go and teach
I bet that was
their
fun.
students. Oh, we had a blast. Yeah, we had a blast. So I've been doing a lot of that lately, which I really love.
Well, congrats on all your efforts.
Thank you.
And moving over to Jamar. My goodness, Jamar, teacher, artist, and working on quite the project, a mile-long mural. Tell us about that.
Yes, if it's completed, it could be the longest mural in the United States. We have an extensive history in New Orleans, and we've made so many contributions to American history. And this could be a monumental moment for tourists and locals to see that resilient, diverse, inclusive 300-year history.
And we've got photos of it. I mean, now, and in terms of completion, you're taking it in different pieces, right? You're not going from the very beginning and going down the mile. You're starting at both ends and coming in. Is that correct?
Yeah. So we have corporate and individuals that sponsor certain sections.
Oh,
that go certain places, and as we just filling it in until we reach the whole 12 blocks.
Wow. And some students are working with you as well?
Yes. I have young artists working with me, and also some other professional artists. And we've been working on it for 5 years. We're going to continue to work on it because we still have to raise more money.
And speaking of money, you've got a soiree to hopefully do that, right?
Yes. This Saturday from 6:30 till 9 at NOLA Brewery on Tchoupitoulas, where the actual mural is. So as you get a chance to come support us, have fun, and see the mural. And NOLA Brewery's on Tchoupitoulas. Michelle Lake's opening up. Little Rascal Brass Band is closing out, and they doing a reunion album that been together over 20 years, so like an anniversary for them too.
That's great. Well, let's talk about you, the artist. You've got a really great website, and we'll show some of the paintings from there. I love this one. That is great. And tell us the name of this one.
This is the poster for Fest. It was an event that Krewe of Red Beans did to help raise money for musicians during the pandemic. So I did that poster of the Pinette's Brass Band.
I love that.
For,
Yeah.
They call it making when life gives us lemons, we turn into lemonade. So hey,
And this is Longview, but your title is a little different, huh?
yeah, it's a longer view because I wanted to fit everything in Longview. I was the artist in residency there. Yeah, I had a studio there, so I spent numerous hours there for a year, teaching classes and
what a
painting in
gig.
my studio.
Now this has to do with the tricentennial, huh?
Yes, that's the official tricentennial piece called Resilience, which is kind of the birth of the Tchoupitoulas Floodwall mural, but I needed more space. That's over 100 images. With the wall being 12 blocks, I can do thousands of images representing our history.
Gee whiz. Okay, and coming together. Who's that in the middle?
That's Ellis Marcellus.
Of course.
I wanted to pay homage to him. I had a chance to meet Ellis when I was young, and I wanted to pay homage to everything that was going on in 2020.
Yeah, and then tell us about
Roots. Roots is it's just basically talking about our roots as Louisianans. You know, me being Creole, I wanted to create something that represented my Native American, French, and African roots, like a gumbo.
Exactly. And this one I am wowed by. And explain who's in that.
So to me, these guys are the king of blues, and these are the people who really took jazz and rock and roll.
And identify, if you will.
You have Miles Davis, Jimi Hendrix, Louis Armstrong, and Robert Johnson. The blues kings. But I call it innovators because they were the innovators of modern jazz and rock and roll.
Now, on the mural, though, and here's information in terms of seeing more, of course, for both of your activities. But on the mural, you said you're definitely going to be including a lot of musicians, right?
Yes, lots of musicians, healthcare workers, sport events, civil rights, architecture, different religious groups. So we're very excited to include everyone.
And if anybody wants to help you in terms of sponsorship with the mural, I'm sure that they can go to your website.
Oh, yes, they could go to my
Contact you.
website. They'll call me.
You're available. You listen, right?
Yes, come hang out with us Saturday at Nola
Yes,
Brewery at 6:30.
yeah. I think that is. Now, was it very hard to get permission to do the flood wall?
Yes, because we had to get it from the state, not the city. It took almost 2 years.
And the Corps of Engineers probably too, huh?
Yeah, it took a while, but they on board. We renew our permit every year, make sure we're insured and safe, and make sure we just tell a happy historical part of New Orleans that everyone can relate to. Is really bringing a lot of people together as one.
Well, it's much better than looking at a gray wall while you're driving down Tchoupitoulas. Did you have a question?
I wondered who owns the artwork. Do you own the imagery and they own the actual? You know, it's sort of like Michelangelo's Last Supper. It's a fresco, so it's in the church. It can never be transported.
Yeah, well, you know, the state built that wall. That's the wall that holds the Mississippi River back from flooding the city. And I create a lot of designs myself after doing research and history. I just bought a big box of DVDs from WYES, so I'm good to go right now for that. And then, so as we raise more money, we're going to have art boot camps where we teach young people how to research
But I think
and
it's
design as well.
collaborative to answer your question. In terms of ownership, it's probably a mix, don't you think? Yeah.
Well, I own
You own
the company.
look.
The company, the organization owns the rights, the intellectual property to all the designs. We just have to train more people to work with us so they could create designs too.
Sounds good, Jamar.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And moving over to Mr. Allen. Hello,
Well,
Allen.
Peggy, I'm glad to be back at the table. And the 2022-23 season of The Sanger opened up, this week with Pretty Woman. That's the national tour. And it's, of course, everybody should know it's based on the beloved film that Julia Roberts and, of course, Richard Gere starred in with, of course, the Gary Marshall direction and J.F. Lawton. The two of them actually wrote the musical book for this, and so you've got basically the best of all the movie brought back. Who did the music? Bryan Adams. Yes, that Bryan Adams, along with Jim Valens. So the most outstanding performer, I would say, in this whole melange, if you will, is Adam Pascal, who plays the billionaire Richard Lewis. Now, of course, you may remember Pascal originated the roles of Roger in Rent and also Radames in Aida.
Wow.
He also, of course, delivers a top performance in this show. Lead actress Olivia Valli, who's seen here on the the right, she more than carries her own with Pascal, although she plays the role a little bit differently than Julia Roberts. She also has a few scenes with Jessica Crouch there, who plays Kit. Another of the key players, though, is Kyle Taylor Parker. He, of course, starred in Kinky Boots as a replacement for Lola, but he steals the show as the happy man.
He is great.
Some of you may recall he's at the beginning and the end of the movie. Now, Parker plays the role that was also incorporated with Hector Elizondo, the hotel manager, so he plays several different roles. He dances up a storm in several scenes, and Olivia Valle's really the center of attention. Of course, she is the pretty woman, if you will, a latter-day Cinderella tale where she takes Rodeo Drive by storm, and Major sucking up is happening there. Well, one of the criticisms of the movie on Broadway, of course, was that the music was sort of underwhelming. I do say that several of the songs could have used a little extra pizzazz, but Vivian's I Want song, Anywhere But Here, and her I Can't Go Back, as well as Edward's Freedom, are very powerful numbers, and I want to say that there's a lot more to like than to despise in this music. It could have been updated, but I was pleasantly surprised at the sophistication of the musical, and I give it a positive rating. There you go, the iconic scene. Pretty Woman plays from now until Sunday. Go check it out. It closes this weekend. Now, meanwhile, across town on Airline Drive, lights up on Washington Heights, up at the break of day. I wake up and I give this little punk, I gotta chase away. That is the opening lines from the wonderful In the Heights. That was the first musical to win Lin-Manuel Miranda a Tony Award for Best Musical. It's taken more than 15 years for it to go from off-Broadway to Broadway and then finally here to New Orleans. Now, it's just in time for Hispanic Heritage Month. This is a cast that's entirely Latin or Hispanic. It's directed by Michelle Petri, who is a female director, one of 5 that are directing this season for JPAS, and she is of Honduran heritage, and she's going to be opening tomorrow night at the Jefferson Performing Arts Center. I will have a review for it next week, but although it's not confirmed yet, I hope to have Michelle on the show that I do on Mondays. I plan to have her and several of the cast members from In the Heights to discuss this important and historic work, and again, that's Monday night, October the 10th, on the NOLA Theater Talk Show. That's also seen on the NOLA Theater Folk Facebook group, the Facebook.com, Facebook page for theatercriticism.com, and on my own YouTube channel. And of course, we just want everybody to know that this is going to be a wonderful show, first time that it's ever appeared in New Orleans. Now, coming up also, the NOLA Project, who do such great work, are going to be playing nightly in the newest section of the Sculpture Garden, the Best of Sculpture Garden. They have a new show, which is part Chekhov and part Gab Reisman. They wrote that together essentially only about a century or so apart, but this is going to be their newest work. It opens at the Sculpture Garden October the 12th and will run through the 30th, every show at night at 7:30 p.m. And don't forget, bring your own seating. Then, Peggy, there's a new one-woman show starring Jessica Scher that I want everybody to know about it. I'll be reviewing it in another week or so. But this is Betty Davis, Larger Than Life. It's at BB Stage Door Canteen, and it's going to be a show that's going to be all about Betty Davis. And you can see this is a great actress. She's gotten great reviews. So I just want everybody to be on the lookout for that. And if you want to, go to the World War II Museum site and get your tickets now. And finally, aside from the upcoming concert with Opera Creole, the Louisiana Philharmonic Orchestra will be presenting 2 new works along with Mussorgsky's Pictures at an exhibition that was arranged by Ravel. That's going to be a week from tonight at the Orpheum Theater, and we want to make sure that everybody knows about that one as well, because they're doing great work over the LPO.
All right, thank you so much, Alan. Lots of good stuff. And time for our picks of the week. Poppy.
Well, if you're looking for something besides Oktoberfest, there's great food fun to be had in Slidell this weekend at the Louisiana Food Truck Festival. It's Saturday, 11 to 3, music, crafts, and 19 food trucks.
Oh my goodness, that's a lot. Thank you, Givonna.
Oh, I don't.
Your website. Your website, of course.
Yeah,
right?
please come and visit our website and look at our store and see. We have many wonderful things going on this year.
Absolutely. Also, a history of your organization, which to me is fascinating. Thank you. Jamar.
Yes. Art by jpierre.com for my fine art, for the Tchoupitoulas Floodwall mural. NOIM504.com, and you could get information about our event this Saturday on there as well.
Okay, thank you. Al.
Well, there is a piece that's being presented at the contemporary art center, and it's part inventive, it's part theater, it's part music. It's called Requiem for a Stranger, and it's a work by Renee Benson and Jennifer Sargent, who has a group called Vagabond Inventions. So you'll see movement, you'll see theater, you'll see interactive design, but it explores grief and loss, and there will also be a place there at the CAC for those who are emotionally overwrought, who can find a place to kind of unwrap and unravel and unpack all that they see. But again, this will be at the CAC October 14th and 15th, and you can see and Sunday as well on the 16th.
All right,
I'll see you at the theater, Peggy.
Okay, thanks so much. And before I go to my picks, we just wanted to acknowledge the passing of Joseph Bruno. He focused on the real estate and hospitality business for many years, and in 1985, he and his wife, right there, Kendra, bought and saved Dixie Beer and revitalized the local brew with Black and Voodoo and other fine flavors. They later partnered with Tom and Gail Benson, and the beer is now known as Faubourg. Really great folks, and he will certainly be missed. And now my picks. Gretna Fest is this weekend. Oh my. The Beach Boys, Herman's Hermits, Chapel Hart, Deacon John. Amazing lineup, so much more. Go to Gretna Fest, 25 blocks, by the way, this encompasses. Go to GretnaFest.com for a complete schedule. Don't forget the Friends of the Jefferson Parish Library's big book sale at the Pontchartrain Center. Over 50,000 books. The Piety Market is back, this time with a Halloween theme. That's Saturday, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Beanlandia Complex at the corner of Piety and Desire, 3300 block of Royal. And art, vintage items and costumes will be shown. The Arts Market presents artists, of course, by Arts New Orleans. They're putting it together. It'll take place this Saturday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Goldring Woldenberg Great Lawn across from the Peristyle and City Park. Lots of local artists participating. And this Sunday is BK's House, Soiree in the Vieux Carré, with food and music by John Rankin and the Nio Jones Experience. Starts at 5:30 p.m., 1113 Chartish, right across from the Ursuline Convent. This is their annual fundraiser for the historic home, and they are honoring Anne and Dr. Dick Strube this year. Go to bkhouse.org for more information. I went last year. It was so much fun. Back to City Park every Wednesday this month. In the Botanical Garden, the Hellas Foundation presents Evenings with Enrique Alferez, of course, and beautiful sculpture garden. Latin music, 5 to 8. And a whole lot of fun. Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Woohoo! We made it. And we're back. And we're just so glad we are back. Once again, home sweet home. Okay. Thank you for watching. Good night.
Steppin' Out is made possible in part by Susie and Pierre G. Villery.
With a continued passion for public television, we are proud to underwrite Steppin' Out.
Please join us in supporting WYES television.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation promotes, preserves, and perpetuates music, culture, and heritage through programs, cultural, educational, and economic activities year-round. Learn more at jazzandheritage.org.